Hello and congratulations to BCS Women on the 2022 Lovelace Colloquium. I'm Muna. I'm a software developer in NMI and I'm based in Bristol. I used to be a student in Aberystwyth, and this is my way of saying, thank you to my old university. So hello everybody in Aber, in London and Lancaster. Happy to be with you today. So over the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'll be talking to you about NMI, my employer, and what we do, about my team in NMI, and about me and my journey so far. I will also signpost you to my colleagues in recruitment. Just a quick disclaimer, I only just joined NMI 6 months ago, so my knowledge of the payment industry is fairly limited at this stage. So NMI, Network Merchants Inc. The core of what NMI does is basically online and card payment processing. This is the arena we're in. We are a payment gateway, and we offer gateway services to organizations who use our devices and SDKs, or those who integrate with our systems through our APIs. All our services hang off the core service of transaction processing, but we also offer related services such as fraud profiling, onboarding, reporting, and 3D Secure. We have offices in Bristol, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, and Utah. You can find us in airports. We're the software behind Heathrow car parking and the train tickets for Heathrow Express. We're also the software behind many of the duty-free kiosks in airports in UK and abroad. We're proud to have introduced the contactless payments to one of Bristol and the UK's most beloved attractions, the Suspension Bridge. If you are interested to find out a bit more about NMI, I suggest you visit our website. It has a lot of information in it. Also, if you're interested to know more about the industry, the payment industry, these podcasts are fairly good, and they're worth checking out. We've had, I think, some of our directors have had interviews on those, and they spoke spoke a lot about our company and our progress and about the industry as well. I find them interesting anyway. So what do I do at NMI? I work as a software developer in a team of C# and PHP developers. We build and maintain a few internal and external tools. We use the Agile methodology approach, which is a time-bound, iterative approach to software delivery, which builds software incrementally instead of all at once, not a big bang approach. So we opted for more of a Kanban-like rather than Scrum approach. I say Kanban-like, it's not exactly Kanban and it's not exactly Scrum, but we find it more fluid. We use shorter sprints, we release more. We have a Kanban board, and there's items on it, and some of them could be in progress, some of them could be ready. And this is the methodology that seems to suit us the most at the moment. If I go on to the things we do every day, let me just talk a little bit about our team. So the anatomy of a usual team, software development team, and NMI has software developers, has QA engineers, DevOps, product owners and product managers. So the developers design, develop, unit test, maintain, document, and estimate. The QA engineers, they design and implement manual automated testing. DevOps are in charge of configuration management, deployment and setup of environments. The product owner and the product manager, PO and PM. So the PM is more business facing. They're in charge of the software from inception through its development and maintenance till end of life, and they are in charge of the roadmap of that software, the application or the piece of software, and they define and prioritize the problems. Those problems or these items then go on to the backlog that the then PO then is in charge of defining the solutions for those problems and kind of managing the delivery of those solutions. So the activities that are most common to software developers in our team. Solving problems is the key one. Yeah, they're offering solutions to real life problems through writing code, breaking down those problems into small building blocks. We also try and apply design patterns where it's possible. These are the set of tried and tested generalized patterns that you can apply to your code to achieve a certain goal. We try and design loosely coupled components, which means that you are free to rearrange them. If your component is tightly coupled, then you will find it difficult to test it in isolation. You also find it difficult to put it apart or rework it. We try and follow the single responsibility rule, which means that you build a software component that does one thing and does it well. That kind of promotes the idea of loosely coupled components as well. We unit test. I try as much as I can to spend half the amount of time I spend on programming, development, unit testing. I try writing code that tests my real code effectively. Refactoring, restructuring existing code without changing its external behavior. It's usually to reduce complexity and improve efficiencies. Bug fixing relies on the ability to reproduce a problem in a local environment. Sometimes you have to use evidence from logs. Sometimes also unit tests can be of use here. They can help you prove a bug exists. So unit tests should fail before you solve the bug, and then once you solve it, it should pass. Pairing up with colleagues to solve tricky problems. Sometimes it's necessary to, and actually quite rewarding, to get together with another member of the team in order to work through a problem. So what do I do all day? I attend meetings. Agile means lots of meetings, I suppose. Agile's our team meets twice a day. We have check-ins first thing in the morning and then after lunch. We update each other on our progress and on any blockers. We also have meetings like team meetings, planning meetings, retrospective meetings. They're really important during our sprint. I communicate with colleagues. I pair up with them on particular issues. Sometimes that's most of what we do when we need to have separate meetings. I program. I spend at least half my day. I try to spend at least half my day programming and unit testing. I research as well. Research is a huge part of what we do. Research into our own programming language, the syntax, the API of the language that you're programming in, any other technologies, external tools, libraries, design patterns. This is a tech stack and the types of software development available at NMI. See the types of software development, programming languages, continuous integration and deployment, CI/CD, issue tracking, integrated development environments, IDEs, database, log management, networks and protocols. If you have any questions about any of that, please make sure to send me some information, send me a question on Discord. This is about my journey so far. And this is a quote from a friend called Laura: "If I can do it, anyone can." And I totally agree with that. So when I was a little girl, I really wanted to, I really loved, I wanted to know more about programming. I was very inquisitive. I wanted to know what was the big deal about this programming thing that my brother was talking about all the time. And so he once sat me down when I was 9 years old, and he showed me how to program, and I was so excited. I liked it so much that we ended up going to summer camps, computer summer camps, and then I was lucky that my school encouraged programming from the age of 12, and I took to it well. And I've been kind of I decided to do more computer science as well. I studied computer science throughout my schooling. After that, my secondary schooling. In university, I did a law degree. I enjoyed studying law, but I wanted to specialize in computer law. When I went to start an LLM in computer law, I was convinced thanks to the faculty of the computer science faculty in Aber, that it would be a good idea to give the postgraduate diploma in computer science a go instead, and then follow that with a cross-disciplinary thesis if I wanted to. And I did that. I did just that. So thank you, guys. That was a really good advice. Laura, also a friend who I was just using this quote from, she was someone I knew as an undergrad, and she told me that, I never really bothered with computers before, but I did the PG dip and I never looked back. And if I can do it, anyone can. So thank you, Laura. So it was really, really, really good encouragement there. My first job was a QA engineer, and I learned so much being QA. It was a startup that built the network discovery and design tool for sales engineers. For one of the major companies, I think Cisco design network and discovery design tool, and it was just a really, really big eye opener, really interesting way into the industry. I learned so much about software development, about the process, about the deployment process, about documentation, the meetings. You just get to know so much about the industry. Such a good way in, I think. I found it so valuable that by the time I started a role with the same company in software development, I felt like I've learned so much already. So I have a colleague here from NMI his name is Gareth, and he's a QA engineer, and I asked him if he has an insight he would like me to share with you, and this is what he wrote. The real skill of a QA engineer is to be a good communicator, fast learner, and a sponge for information. You can only test as well as you understand what you are testing. You need to be able to walk onto any project, feature, or code that needs to be tested and glean as much information as possible about it in the shortest amount of time. Thank you, Gareth. Software development offered me really many happy years. I worked in many industries, and I worked in a few countries as well. Just was a really great way to combine love for travel and wanting to expand your technical knowledge and expertise. So I thoroughly recommend it. A few years ago, I took a step back from hands-on programming. I needed to be around for my family. I enjoyed that, and I was involved with my husband's software consultancy. But in spite of that, because I was away from hands-on programming, it took some convincing to get me back into programming. But I'm so glad I did. 6 months ago, I started a role with NMI, and I'm very pleased I did that. So this leads me to my advice to you for your future. If you ever decide that you want to take time away from work, if you join a company, if you say, and you start programming and you think, well, in a few years' time, I would like to take time away, I'd suggest that you plan well. Planning is key. I think it's also worth listening, watching Hannah Dee's, she's from BCS Women. She had a really good talk about how to help women feel like they, like they belong in IT. And I think she was talking about confidence, and I think, I agree with her. I think so. I think to feel like you belong in the industry, it's good to stay curious about the industry. It's good to stay curious about programming in general. It's worth keeping in touch with people, attending events. Programming is I mean, if you've got that mindset for problem solving, that's never going to change. But your skills can get a bit rusty if you're far away from it. So practice is so important. We're very blessed in this industry. There's so much online that can help you stay up to date. So practice. So I just want to wish you all the best with your studies and with whatever you do next after that. So before I go, I will signpost you to my colleagues. These are the roles that we regularly recruit for: software engineers, QA engineers, Linux engineers, information security engineers, technical analysts, and more. We have a visa sponsorship license. We offer 1-year industry placements, and we offer graduate jobs. Unfortunately, we don't offer summer internships. If you want to know more, make sure you contact my colleagues in recruitment. Also, make sure you ask them about all the perks and about flexi time. They'll be very happy to tell you all about it. Okay, it was lovely doing this. I hope you enjoyed it. All the best.